Good morning from where am I? Lisbon. That's right. I'm in Lisbon. Boy, you know what? I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin. But you know what? I guess maybe a cup of coffee is about as good a place as any, as far as a place to begin. Hmm. Boy, that tastes good. Starbucks instant coffee, nothing like it. I I'm gonna have to pick up another package of this stuff. I think they have Starbucks yeah, they have Starbucks in Lisbon. So I'll have to look into that. Before I begin, Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there that's celebrating Thanksgiving today. That would be those of you in that would be those of you in the United States, and then expats. I think I'm an expat. I don't know how you do. I don't know. I think an expat is somebody who's actually living overseas, not somebody who's just kind of roaming the world, such as I. Hmm. But happy Thanksgiving. Boy, I go back on the Thanksgivings over the years, and growing up in a household with ten children, bless my mom's heart, she I mean, imagine, cooking dinner for 10 kids. But God, my mom did a great job. She did a great job raising us 10 kids. But anyway, so happy Thanksgiving. And what else is on my mind? I've got a date today. I've got a date with a woman who doesn't speak a word of English. I mean, go figure. Only me, right? Only Tom could have a date with a woman in Lisbon that speaks no English, who's from Brazil. I don't know. It's, hmm. As the saying goes, we'll see what happens. But that's right. I have a date with a Brazilian woman tonight, and it's going to be interesting. I think that she wants to do I think that she wants to do a video. Interestingly enough, I think she wants to do a video for her grandson in Brazil or something like that. Well, you're getting old when you're dating a woman that's got a grandchild. I mean, think about that. But anyway, so if it seems like I'm in a good mood today, it is. Hmm. One moment. I'll be right back. All right, my apology. I wanted to go get Dad. Wanted to go get Dad, and Dad is all, Dad is all covered up in this plastic because Emmanuel, we were worried. It was still paint. The paint was still wet, and Emmanuel, he didn't really want to ship it for me. I could have. He would have shipped it for me if I really wanted it shipped, but you couldn't roll it up. You can't roll it up, and he framed it for me, and it was still a little bit wet. And we were talking that he said, well, just when you get to Lisbon, just put. And I said, Emmanuel, I said, when I get to Lisbon, I have to return my car, and then I have to take the bus, and then from the bus I have to take the tram, and then I have to take, after the tram I have to take the metro. And he looked at me and he said, what are you, a cheap bastard? Just take a taxi. But anyway, I said, no, 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 as Yane would say. No, 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 no. But so anyway, he uh, he took some time and he cut out some cardboard and he stapled the cardboard to the side to kind of make like a frame, you know, for this thing. And then he wrapped it in bubble wrap. And there is Dad. And I got to tell you, the more you look at this thing, when I first saw it, I was just kind of like, you know, but the more you look at this, even through the bubble wrap, you know, the more you look at this, it looks just like him. And it really is something. Boy, this is going to be a nice thing hanging in my house back home. But you know, I've actually thought, you know how some people go travel around the world and they take one of those little statues. They take one of those little statues and they'll take pictures of the statue everywhere around the world. I took a picture yesterday with Dad on I took a picture. I was on the street waiting for a bus and I had my bag and I took a picture. I had somebody take a picture with me holding the painting of my dad. And I put up a little caption like, it's so nice to be traveling with Dad again, or something like that. And he always wanted to go to Lisbon. But, you know, it'd be something to kind of travel around the world with this and just take pictures of Dad in different places. That might be an interesting, that might be an interesting thing to do. But anyway, so on with the decision. On with the decision. You know, I don't struggle with decisions oftentimes. I really don't. Usually when I need to make a decision, you know, it's not usually a difficult task for me to do. But deciding whether to go back, to the United States or continue my trip, I struggled with that all the way from the Algarve to Lisbon yesterday, driving along. And you know, I want to thank you for the comments, all of you out there that you know, gave me your feedback and everything. You know what? But does it sound like I'm delaying the answer here? But anyway, I got here to Lisbon last night, and I decided to go out for dinner just to grab a bite to eat. And lo and behold, I'm walking up this street right where I'm staying, and I stumbled across this tiny little authentic Portuguese family-run restaurant. And I stuck my head inside the door, and instantly, well, I looked at the menu on the price list on the front, you know, and I saw that, you know, I looked inside and I thought, I gotta go in. And for those of you that watched my video in that restaurant, it was magical. It was just magical. And you know, the more I thought about it, I thought, I can't go home. I can't go back to the United States. I can't go back to all that news and all that, you know, what have you. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't. I can't find myself to going back home. I love Europe. I absolutely love Europe. Who's making a comment here? What will you do, Oz? Very good question, Oz. What will I do? So, you know what? America is a great place. Don't get me wrong. I think that America is the greatest. Whoops. Okay, I'm stepping on the thing. The show must go on. That's right, Oz. The show must go on. So, as it stood, I had a flight out of Budapest tomorrow night on Wizz Air at 8 o'clock, arriving in Budapest at 12:30 at night, or whatever it was, I don't remember. But I was getting into Budapest at 12:30 at night. And boy, you know, I mean, just getting from the airport into the town and everything, what a hassle that would be. and then finding somebody on Airbnb that would be willing to check you in at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, what a hassle that would be. And all this type of stuff. So anyway, here's what I decided to do. I started looking around and I thought, you know, how in the world could I be in Portugal? How in the world could I be in Portugal and not go to Porto? I mean, just the very fact that it rolls off the tongue so nicely, Porto, Porto, Porto. And you go and you look at the photos. You go look at the photos. Go to Oz. Why don't you do that while you're watching? You know, just go to Google and type in Porto, 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 Portugal. I mean, good morning from Porto, Portugal. Doesn't that sound good? So so anyway, I started playing around with numbers and everything, and to change the flight to go to Porto and then come back to Portugal. Porto, yes, yes. So kind of interesting how this played out because I decided I wanted to go to Porto and to change my Wizz Air flight from Friday night out of Lisbon to say Tuesday or Wednesday night out of Lisbon. To change that flight would be it would cost me probably about 150 bucks, something like that. So I decided to go on Wizz Air, and I think it's WHIZZ, Wizz Air. I decided to go on Wizz Air, and in going on Wizz Air, I just typed in Porto, one-way ticket, Porto, Budapest, Porto, Budapest. And there it was, next Tuesday, leaving Porto, going to Budapest, leaving at, I don't know, 6 in the evening or 7 in the evening, arriving at 11 o'clock at night. I thought, perfect, absolutely perfect. The cost, I added all the bells and whistles. Oh, doesn't it? I added all the bells and whistles to my trip, and it cost me 150 bucks. I got to choose my seat, so I sit a very front row, nice leg room. Um, I paid for. I didn't pay for a seat for Dad. You know, I could have. Maybe I could have paid for a seat to have Dad sitting right next to me, but Dad will. Well, I don't know if I'll put him in the overhead or not, but Dad will come along with me, and 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 I paid. So I paid for the extra. I paid for 32 kilograms. I paid for 32 kilograms check-in and a carry-on. And then I paid for, what else? $10. Seldom do I do this. I paid for $10 trip insurance. $10 trip insurance. Can you imagine? 10 bucks if the flight is delayed by more than an hour. I get a $100 credit. So what is that? 10 to 1 odds or something like that? I don't know. But if the flight is delayed by more than an hour, I get a $100 credit. So I land in Porto. Actually, I rented an apartment. I had to find an apartment in Porto. So I rented a beautiful apartment similar to this, what I have here. And I rented a nice apartment in Porto. Check in tomorrow. So I'll check into my apartment in Porto tomorrow. Check out on Tuesday. So that gives me the better part of four full days in Porto. And then I arrive in Budapest on Tuesday. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in Budapest a couple nights, pick up a rental car on Thursday, the 29th or 30th or something. Pick up a rental car, drive down to Ljubljana, I think, and maybe do the Ljubljana Christmas market on Friday night. And then take the hour drive over to Zagreb on Saturday where I've got reservations and be there for the opening. So happy you were going through with your trip. Just wait till you hit Bali. Sounds beautiful. Thank you. So I think what I'll do is I'll go to rent a car. I'm going to rent a car in Budapest, drive to Ljubljana Thursday, Christmas market, something like that. We will see. And then I'll get back to Budapest Sunday and do the Christmas market in Budapest. Now, Here's where it's going to take an interesting twist. Oz, get your fingers ready. Okay. Do a search, Oz, for Vienna, Vienna, Vienna. Do a search for Vienna, Vienna Palace, Palais, Vienna Palace Schwarzenberg, Schwarz, something like that. Search on YouTube for Vienna Palace, Palais Schwarzenberg. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to head out of Budapest, probably like the 3rd or 4th of December. And I'm going to go call on the family Schwarzenberg. And you're thinking, those of you out there that are Googling this, I'm sure there's some of you out there right now, Googling Palace, Palace, Vienna is amazing. You will love it. Looks like the White House. It does. So I'm sure there's some of you out there that are searching for Palace Schwarzenberg, Vienna. Well, it's owned by the Schwarzenberg family. And years ago, when I started doing my travel thing, Europe with a Smile, they were one of the first ones that invited me to, they put me up more than once. They've given me a beautiful room more than one time, and just comped me a beautiful, beautiful room. So I may go call on the family Schwarzenberg, and spend a night or two in the palace in Vienna, and then from there, there's a nice little town called Dürnstein, Durnstin, Durnstin, Dürnstein. Dürnstein, and there's oh my God, there's an incredible hotel there as well, right on the Danube. And maybe I'll go to Dürnstein. And then from there, I might go over to St. Wolfgang, Lake Wolfgangsee outside of Salzburg. And you can search Appersbach, Appesbach, Appersbach Hotel. Maybe I'll go stay at the Appersbach Hotel on Lake Wolfgangsee, which is right next to Salzburg. And maybe I'll do this by train. Find my way to Munich. Pick up a rental car in Munich, and then take the rental car down through Zurich, and then maybe over to Basel. And then you got to check out, as if you're still searching, type in, there's 2 hotels, and there's a city called Baden-Baden, Germany, Baden, Baden-Baden, Germany. And there's another place where I may go knock on the door of one Andras Rademacher, and go and say Guten Morgen, Herr Rademacher, Guten Morgen. And Andras is he's one of the gentlemen also that accommodated me numerous times at his place. And the name of his place, it's called the Der Kleine Prinz, D-E-R, and then K-L-E-I-N-E, Der Kleine Prinz, Der Kleine Prinz. So search the Der Kleine Prinz in Baden-Baden. And if Andras doesn't have a room in the Der Kleine Prinz, maybe he'll put me up in his sister's, lots of ladies and beer. Maybe he'll put me up in his sister's hotel right across the street called the Belle Epoque, B-E-L-L-E, and then Epoque, E-P-O-Q-U-E. And anyway, so there you have it, folks. It's going to be an interesting few weeks, to say the very, very least. It will somehow or another, I'll pull it off and bring you guys along. And my goal is to fly back to the States, probably mid-December. Probably to fly out of I'll look for tickets out of, actually, you know what? Dusseldorf has direct flights Direct flights. Dusseldorf has direct flights out of there. Rothenburg Oder is gorgeous at Christmas. They have a wonderful Christmas market. Highly recommend. Very historic town. Well, there you go. Maybe that's where I'll go. Rothenburg. I think I've been to I've been to Rothenburg, if I'm not mistaken. But there's another magical little place that I stayed it's called Stein am Rhein. Stein Steinenrhein. It's just northeast of Zurich on the Rhine River. And there's a beautiful family there that owns a nice hotel, and they'd probably put me up as well if I come knocking. Mm. So anyway, with all that being said, I need to get on with my work. Hi, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Kyle. I think congratulations are in order, Kyle. I think that you're getting married, if I'm not mistaken. I saw a wedding date, and boy, I can't tell you how beautiful your bride looks. She looks like such a wonderful lady, and you look so happy together. But anyway, I've got a lot of work to do, you see. I've got a lot of work to do. Yesterday I was driving up out of the Algarve up here, and I got a call from another guy that's been waiting on a website, and so right now I'm setting up just set up the website Mission Tire Auto, Mission Mission Tire Auto. So I got them up and running, and well, I'm getting them up and running, I should say. And now I got to get this other guy up and running with the website Express Transmission Toledo, Express Transmission Toledo or something like that. I got to get him set up with the website. But real quickly in closing, there was somebody that I spoke with last night who watches my videos, who wants to get into web design and very interested in my business model and what have you. And we talked for a while, and I said, I'll just call him Joe. I said, Joe, you know what? I said, I've been talking to you for a while about this. I said, we really got to see something. I need to see something. You got to do something here. I need to put something online, for Christ's sake. And he said something that kind of really stuck out to me. He said, well, maybe it's just that I'm afraid of failure, fear of failure. Maybe I'm afraid of failing. And you know what? There was a time in my life when I was afraid of failing also. And I was probably about the same age as Joe. I was probably about the same age as Joe. But you know what? I just got addicted to learning. And I just started, I was like a sponge soaking all this stuff up. And the more I learned, the more my confidence grew. And the more my confidence grew, the more I achieved. And all I can say is, like to quote, who was it? FDR, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. What a great quote. Another great quote. Here comes another comment from the lovely, learning new things keeps us young. Never stop learning. Isn't that the truth? Another great quote comes from Napoleon Hill, and that is, anything the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Anything your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So that's a quote that I never forgot. And then speaking of the children and learning and happiness, they did a study some time back as to why. I'll just share some tidbits of information with you. They did a study some years back as to why children are so happy, and not probably in great part because they don't have a lot of cares in the world, but they're learning. They're always learning. Children, they're from the time that they're born and brought into this world, it's every day. It's just a continual learning experience for them, and I never forgot that. And learning is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. Don't let life get stagnant. Don't let life get stale. Always challenge yourself with new things. So anyway, that's about it. So when we have a comment closing out, who's this? Kirsten email. Children are always learning. Also, is the president joining? Okay. So I need to go, folks. I need to get on with my day and let you all do the same. So take good care. And hmm, well, I don't know. We'll see. I've got a date tonight. I've got a date tonight with a woman that doesn't speak English. Bye, Tom. Be well. Safe travels. Thank you. So yeah, a date tonight with a woman that doesn't speak English. She speaks Portuguese. Maybe I should hire a translator. Maybe I should go online and find a translator, and then the three of us can go walk around the streets of Lisbon. So anyway, take good care. All right. Talk to you later.